Well, it finally happened. The WNBA is officially in chaos, and the person standing in the middle of the flames holding the gasoline can is none other than Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. After years of tone-deaf comments about Caitlin Clark, public feuds with players, and non-stop backlash from fans, the league's owners have finally had enough. The whispers are over. Insiders say the owners are now openly talking about showing her the door. The players can't stand her. The fans boo her every time she appears, and the people who sign her paychecks are ready to pull the plug. So, the question everyone's asking, is Cathy Engelbert the worst commissioner in American sports right now? Let us know down in the comments below, because the evidence piling up is starting to look like a case study in how to run a league straight into the ground. Let's break down how everything completely unraveled, and how Caitlin Clark became the breaking point that finally pushed the owners over the edge. The changes must have the hours lost fighting Cathy Engelbert. She was obviously booed off. This is once you have that kind of fighting with your best players, one team exec said, it's a death spiral. Tensions brewed throughout the WNBA season as players and coaches expressed frustration, officiating. And as CBA negotiation intensified, but the conversation shifted especially towards Engelbert during the semi-finals. Obviously we know about Fee's exit interview and the Caitlin Clark talk, and Cathy Engelbert basically said it wasn't true, and we all know Cathy Engelbert is now in full-blown panic mode. For months, she's been spinning disasters into talking points, botched officiating, furious players, crumbling relationships, half-baked PR statements, and now her infamous comments dismissing Caitlin Clark's concerns. It's been one crisis after another, and the league is running out of patience. At first it was just the players speaking out, but now it's the owners too. And that's when you know the situation is unsalvageable. According to a recent ESPN report, multiple WNBA team owners privately admitted they've lost confidence in her leadership. One was brutally honest, saying, "If I had a vote, I'd ask for her replacement tomorrow." When your own bosses are throwing shade like that, you know your days are numbered. It all started to unravel during the semifinals when frustration with Engelbert exploded behind the scenes. Players were already angry about officiating inconsistencies, poor travel accommodations, and the stalled collective bargaining talks. Then, Engelbert made things exponentially worse with one offhand comment. "I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $60 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me, players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. Remember that viral interview with Nafisa Collier? She revealed that Cathy Engelbert brushed off Caitlin Clark's safety concerns, calling the reports of targeting and dirty play overblown. That was the final straw. Fans saw it as dismissive. Players saw it as deceitful. And the owners? They saw it as a PR disaster of epic proportions. One executive reportedly said, once you start going to war with your own stars, it's a death spiral. And that's exactly what's happening. The commissioner of the WNBA has managed to alienate the very people who built its popularity. Cathy was already deeply unpopular with players long before this latest mess. They've blamed her for everything, from the officiating circus to the lack of charter flights to weak marketing campaigns that failed to capitalize on the league's momentum. But now, the backlash isn't just coming from locker rooms, it's coming from the boardrooms. And that's a problem you can't PR your way out of. Here's where things really started to turn. The owners are furious about how Engelbert has handled the league's finances. In 2022, she bragged about securing a $75 million capital raise to help grow the league. Sounds impressive, right? Until you read the fine print, she sold off 16% of the WNBA's ownership to outside investors. That decision effectively gave private firms influence over league strategy, and now those investors are making things more complicated, not better. Several owners have said the move backfired, calling it a bureaucratic nightmare. One insider flat out told reporters, that capital raise handcuffed us more than it helped us. It's too messy now. Translation, the league's supposed growth strategy ended up tying their hands. And then there's Cathy's personality. the part that makes everything worse. Multiple executives describe her leadership style as condescending and dismissive. One owner even said she talks down to everyone whenever she's questioned, creating tension instead of solving problems. Imagine alienating your players, frustrating your owners, and still thinking you can talk to people like they work for you. One frustrated executive didn't mince words. The owners hate her too. That's not speculation anymore. It's confirmed reality. Her only real ally left? NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. He's the one person keeping her in that job, and even his defense of her is getting harder to believe. When asked recently about the growing backlash, Silver said, "Cathy has presided over some of the strongest growth in WNBA history." Sure, that sounds nice, until you realize the league's popularity boom isn't because of her. It's because of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and the new generation of stars driving ticket sales and TV ratings. The league is thriving in spite of Engelbert, not because of her. The fans know it, the players know it, and now the owners are saying it out loud. One even admitted, she's done fine on the business side, but she's lost the locker room. And once that happens, it's over. If you fire her now, it's admitting weakness. It's a terrible look for the NBA, her owner said. "I can't stand what Collier did. That was a private conversation. It makes me not want to fire her, even though I think she should be fired." Yeah, that's a pretty good point. Like, even if Cathy should be fired, the NBA aren't going to fire Cathy Engelbert because it makes them look weak. So, why hasn't she been fired yet? 2 words. Optics and ego. Adam Silver reportedly doesn't want to remove her because it would make the NBA look bad for hiring her in the first place. One owner told reporters, "If you fire her now, it looks like the NBA made a mistake. It's a terrible look." So the WNBA commissioner isn't being protected because she's doing a good job. She's being protected because firing her would embarrass her boss. Think about how insane that is. The commissioner of a professional league is being kept in power, not for her results but for someone else's pride. One of the lasting images of the WNBA season was Engelbert getting relentlessly booed by the crowd at Phoenix's mortgage matchup center during the Aces championship trophies presentation. A smaller group of fans continued the ruckus as she walked off the court and into a tunnel. They was booing her, they was flicking her off, all types of stuff. She got absolutely clowned. And while all this chaos unfolds, Cathy Engelbert's out here giving interviews saying, "I've never been a quitter." That's rich, because she's saying it to a league that's practically begging her to step down. But here's the real ticking time bomb. The collective bargaining agreement. That's the issue that might finally force the owner's hand. The current deal expires at the end of this month, and the two sides are nowhere close to a new agreement. Insiders are saying there's a 0% chance the new CBA gets done before Halloween. The problem isn't just about money anymore. It's about trust, or the complete lack of it. Players don't trust Engelbert to negotiate fairly, and owners don't trust her to keep them out of another PR disaster. One executive summed it up perfectly. "I don't know if the relationship is even repairable at this point." The CBA talks are supposed to handle critical issues, salaries, travel, player safety, and revenue sharing. But both sides are miles apart. And in the middle of that dysfunctional storm sits Cathy Engelbert, managing it like a substitute teacher trying to stop a classroom riot. One owner summed it up best. "At this rate, we'll finish the CBA the same day pigs fly over Madison Square Garden. The trust is gone, the patience has evaporated, and the league is stuck in neutral. The players blame the commissioner. The owners blame the commissioner. And the fans? They're just wondering how much longer Caitlin Clark and the stars, saving the WNBA, have to carry the league on their backs while the person in charge keeps setting it on fire. Even the refereeing fiasco sits squarely on Cathy Engelbert's list of failures. All season long, fans and players have complained about blown calls, phantom technicals, and blatant bias, yet the league refused to take accountability. Instead of addressing specific incidents, the WNBA proudly claimed it evaluates officiating holistically, which is corporate speak for "we're not punishing anyone." And who designed that system? Cathy Engelbert. So when the same referee crews that botched one game were back 2 nights later making the same mistakes in the playoffs, who took the heat? You guessed it, Cathy. The WNBA keeps pretending this is normal business, but insiders are saying the quiet part out loud. The league is collapsing behind the scenes. Now that even team owners are calling for her removal, it's no longer a matter of if she'll be fired. It's when. The NBA will likely wait until the new CBA negotiations wrap up before pulling the trigger. Why? Because Adam Silver doesn't want to look like he's reacting under pressure. So instead of confronting the disaster head-on, they're playing pretend, hoping the smoke clears on its own. But everyone can see the building is on fire. The players are livid, the owners are done being patient, the fans are exhausted, and Cathy Engelbert is completely detached from reality. What's happening now is no longer just dysfunction. It's a full-blown leadership meltdown. Behind closed doors, owners are finally saying what fans have been screaming for months. Cathy Engelbert has lost control of the WNBA. She's lost the trust of the players. She's lost the faith of the owners. And the only person still defending her is Adam Silver, who seems more concerned about optics than outcomes. According to multiple reports, owners describe her leadership as exhausting, condescending, and tone-deaf. One insider didn't mince words. The league feels like it's running on autopilot. And honestly, that's generous. Because autopilot implies someone still knows the direction. Under Engelbert, the WNBA has become a masterclass in missed opportunities. Caitlin Clark delivered the kind of magic every league dreams about. Sold-out arenas, record-shattering TV ratings, unprecedented merchandise sales, and millions of new fans. Yet somehow, instead of celebrating the moment, the league treated it like an inconvenience. And when Engelbert downplayed the backlash surrounding Clark's treatment, calling it media exaggeration, she didn't just misstep. She detonated her own credibility. Fans watched Caitlin get hacked, shoved, and taunted on live television, while the commissioner kept pretending everything was fine. Her comments weren't just tone-deaf. They exposed how utterly disconnected she's become from her players and her audience. That was the moment everything boiled over. Players rolled their eyes, fans booed her at games, and owners started asking the hard question, can Cathy Engelbert even survive another season? One executive told ESPN, once you alienate your biggest stars, there's no coming back. He's right. When the players driving your ratings don't trust your leadership, every CBA meeting becomes a hostage situation. Every PR appearance becomes damage control, and every fan conversation becomes a referendum on your failure. This is the same commissioner who tried to defend the referees while players openly mocked officiating as a joke. Cathy even doubled down, saying the refs were being unfairly criticized. Really? When entire highlight reels show Clark being hammered without a whistle? That's not defending your refs. That's gaslighting your audience. Now even owners are privately admitting her leadership can't be salvaged. They'll praise her business acumen in one sentence, then trash her people skills in the next. That's the core problem. Cathy runs the WNBA like a corporate spreadsheet. The owners and players see it as a community. They care about connection, representation, and fairness. She cares about optics, investors, and revenue slides. One league source nailed it perfectly. She talks numbers, we talk people. That's the disconnect tearing the league apart. This CBA will define the next decade of women's basketball. If Engelbert botches it, or worse, if the talks collapse, the WNBA could face a work stoppage. That's the polite term for no games, no paychecks, and no progress. And let's remember, the last CBA was signed back in 2020, when Caitlin Clark was still dominating high school gyms. Since then, everything about the league has changed. Audience size, social media impact, endorsement potential. Everything's bigger now, except, apparently, the league's imagination. That's what has the owners furious. They're watching the biggest boom in women's sports history unfold while their own commissioner fumbles the easiest win imaginable. One executive said it best. If the WNBA had actually embraced Caitlin Clark the way they should have, we'd be printing money right now. And he's right. Instead of partnering with her, celebrating her, and using her to grow the game globally, they treated her like a PR problem. She should have been the centerpiece of every commercial, the face of the brand, the reason little girls pick up a basketball. Instead, Cathy downplayed her impact and alienated the fans who came with her. That's not just a missed opportunity, that's professional malpractice. Her obsession with controlling the message instead of embracing momentum has cost the league millions and damaged its reputation. And now, that pride is catching up to her. Owners are holding private meetings, executives are leaking frustrations to reporters, and even sponsors are quietly expressing concern. Because when everyone in your organization, from players to fans to investors, distrusts your leadership, your brand is officially in free fall. The cracks are already visible. Playoff ratings dipped right after the Caitlin Clark controversy. Player interviews have grown colder, more combative. The media that once hyped the WNBA growth era is now questioning whether it was real at all. One insider summed it up perfectly. This isn't about basketball anymore. It's about power, ego, and who gets the last word. And for once, Cathy Engelbert might not get it, because the NBA is now watching closely. The players are done. The owners are restless. The fans are disgusted. Every time Cathy tries to defend herself, she digs a deeper hole. She says the officiating is fine. Fans roll their eyes. She claims Caitlin Clark isn't being targeted. Social media immediately floods with slow-motion proof that she is. She brags about record growth, while the league internally fractures. You can't lead a league where you're the most unpopular person in every room, and that's exactly what Cathy Engelbert has become. Even usually reserved players, veterans, rookies, and coaches are now voicing frustration. Some are publicly hinting that it's time for a reset. One executive summed it up bluntly. The WNBA can't move forward until Cathy steps aside. And they're right, because you can't build a revolution with leadership that refuses to evolve. The question now isn't whether Cathy Engelbert will be fired. It's when. The owners are ready, the players are ready, the fans are begging for it. The only person still in denial is Cathy herself. Do you think Cathy Engelbert the worst commissioner in American sports right now? Let us know down in the comments below.